MTN News. This is Positively Montana.
Hello, glad to have you with us. I'm Cody Boyer, and welcome on this Sunday morning to Positively Montana, a collection of some of our best stories of the week, all of inspiring reports and people just making a difference, beginning with a student who didn't let one of life's toughest battles stop him from playing his music.
Shout to the Lord, recorded during his second round of chemo. You don't need me to tell you Luke Heupel is talented. Just listen.
I really like orchestra type stuff.
Indeed, it was music that put Luke on the radar of MSU faculty long before his senior year at Kalispell. Skills as a musician and composer that would land Luke a scholarship in the School of Music. Everything in Luke's life was moving in harmony until a sudden illness would change the tune.
I got just a little cough. Eventually they did some more tests and found that I had leukemia.
He calls it an unexpected blessing of the COVID pandemic. Thanks to that concern, they caught the cancer early, but there was a long road ahead. He was flown to Denver for 6 months of treatment, including round after round of chemotherapy.
Sometimes you just look back on it and you're like, did that actually happen?
He took with him his faith, a plan to stay on track at MSU, and of course, his trumpet.
Yeah, the trumpet just gave me something to do.
He attended his music classes via Zoom, even during those 5 intense rounds of chemo. Instructor, Dr. Sarah Stonebach.
We'd pull down the big screen and it would be Luke on the screen. Witnessing that was humbling.
She said he always came prepared. Luke managed to find multiple ways to practice in the hospital in spite of the fact a trumpet isn't exactly quiet.
Yeah, so the trumpet, it's a really loud instrument, but I had this one nurse and she'd always find spots in the hospital that I can play. Yeah, the coolest one was she got me on top of the helicopter pad.
He was able to attend one pop-up concert on campus at the end of the semester.
Yeah, that was really cool to actually play with other people.
Is there a healing power in music?
Yes, I think so.
Luke reminds us we all have spiritual gifts, and he is thankful for his.
The reason that I was able to put on a smile every day is because is my love for God and all that He's done for me. Even though, I'm going through these bad things, He was with me the whole time. Even when I thought my world was falling apart, without my faith in Him, I wouldn't be where I am today.
For almost 3 years, a program called The Sober Life has been helping people in recovery overcome their addiction. By promoting fun, family-friendly activities, it goes beyond a traditional 12-step program. A new grant is giving the organization the opportunity to expand its services even more.
Personal commitment is key in the battle against drug and alcohol addiction, but teamwork helps. That's where The Sober Life comes in.
The whole purpose of The Sober Life is to provide people in recovery from addiction and alcoholism with connection, purpose, and a sense of individual agency, that their actions can better their own lives and the lives of people in their community.
Since 2018, the nonprofit organization has offered free, family-friendly events along with fitness activities, volunteer opportunities, and most recently, Native American cultural programs including drumming and beading. Kiara Hagerty knows firsthand the benefits of the sober life.
Being able to play volleyball and basketball and go to events like rafting and have fun and be sober while doing it was new to me.
Kiara struggled with drugs and alcohol since high school. She's a treatment court graduate and now the Sober Life's peer recovery coach and care coordinator. It's part of a 3-year, $540,000 federal grant to provide even more support.
It's peer recovery coaching. That's just being there for them, right? That's walking them through these challenges we know they're going to confront. And then there's that care coordination. So whether it's housing, food, clothing, help with employment, education, whatever their needs are that can be a real barrier to staying sober.
Some of the hardest things for me to do was just to take that initiative to try and call the places to see if they would, rent me a place, or call and see how I can get the SNAP benefits, or just all those things were very overwhelming to me.
Risberg says with all the money society spends on medical treatment, rehabilitation, and in the criminal justice system, programs like the Sober Life play a vital role.
We ensure that folks that have gotten that great start, right? They've gotten detoxed, they've been through treatment, they have tools, that they have this supportive recovery community.
The Sober Life has taught me how to love people again and how to trust people. And those connections that I've made throughout the Sober Life has really made me who I am today.
Risberg estimates since it began, more than 500 people have participated in Sober Life activities, and roughly 300 have taken part in more than one event. This new grant will also provide support in Hill and Toole County. In Great Falls, Tim McGonigal, MTN News.
This week, 13 high school students from across Montana are in Helena for the Junior Police Leadership Academy. And while they're learning by getting a first-hand look at law enforcement activities and techniques, they say the key word remains leadership.
They actually said out of this earlier is we're going to come out of this being totally different people, and I can already see a change happening with 2 days in. So.
The Montana Association of Chiefs of Police sponsors the academy every year, and law enforcement agencies send officers to serve as instructors.
I have no complaints. I love it. Very, very high-paced. I don't think they have it once where we're just bored out of our mind. It's go, go, go.
The week began with work in the classroom, then expanded to hands-on activities. On Tuesday, students practiced at the law enforcement driving track. They rode along with instructors to experience a pursuit and got behind the wheel themselves to work on avoiding obstacles.
There was a couple moments where I had my feet pushed to the floorboard, but it was fun.
I'm surprised I didn't hit any cones on the track behind us. I was very shocked I didn't hit any, but no, we've been taught step by step.
They spent Wednesday at Sheep Mountain near Clancy. There, they practiced rappelling more than 20 feet with help from Lewis and Clark Search and Rescue.
They have to face their fears, and they have to accomplish something that might scare them, but they're able to do that, and then they feel that success immediately.
There you go. No, got it. Kids aren't the only ones who can benefit from that. Even reporters can get something out of it.
Way to go. You got him. Woo.
Last year, the Junior Police Leadership Academy had to be canceled due to COVID. Students say it's fun to be back in a group activity, and organizers say they're glad to be working with these teens.
Our youth are our future, and if we're not helping that youth grow into successful leaders, we're not doing our part.
This year, the program is smaller than usual because of COVID restrictions, but next year, leaders hope to be back to their normal size of 30 to 40 students. In Jefferson County, Jonathan Amberian, MTN News.
I'm Geneva Zoltek in Missoula, where a new one-stop shop for musicians is live, and it's a decade plus in the making for 4 creatives.
But yeah, all in all, it's been it's a lot of hard work, but very rewarding.
Devereaux is a recording engineer, music producer, and hip-hop artist known as Foreshadow. As a Blackfeet and Salish descendant, he's well known for the viral song Protect Your People, made to encourage COVID-19 safety within tribal communities. He's self-taught and used his bedroom to record as he grew as a musician over the years, so having a professional studio is a huge step forward.
All those 10 years, I've always wanted to do this. It's been my dream.
The idea was an ongoing barstool conversation.
You know, after shows or after really successful studio sessions, like between me and Alaire, and just like, man, we need to get an actual like professional space that we can use and that we can bring other people into. Going from the conversation area into like actually trying to do it is a little bit of a journey.
With new artists on board, they've rebranded, and the commercial space is meant for artists who want to record, mix, and master at a competitive rate.
It's very accessible for people who don't have a ton of money, and plus we just kind of want to get people to do their passion, and so we'll work with pretty much anybody.
The operation does more than just help artists create tracks.
I'm a jack of all trades, really. I'm an artist. I've been performing and making music for 10 years plus. I make beats, I'm a producer, I'm a graphic design artist.
Ferris said the studio is a place that could be helpful to budding artists who share similar roots.
You know, recording studios sometimes charge a lot of money, and when I was younger, I didn't have a lot of money, especially I was like, 15, 16, trying to find a studio to record at. Offering a service that's, inexpensive and quality by like-minded creative individuals who want to help you is something that I believe in.
Overall, co-owners say the studio is a creative space.
To me, music is an outlet for all my traumas and past, things. And so I'll just always encourage people, young, old, anyone, to make music or write or do some kind of creation.
In Missoula, Geneva Zoltek, MTN News.
A lot of little girls grow up wanting to ride horses, and one horse and one little girl prove that sometimes horses can teach us how to do things outside of the saddle.
I rode him and we took him outside. That's my favorite thing to do with him. Just riding and having fun.
Riding and having fun. 2 words that seem to go hand in hand for Lucy Glenn, who's been learning how to ride horses for the past few years at Eagle Mount. She and Benny have become quite the team.
They will match your energy with their own. So if you're up and nervous and you will give them they'll give you instant feedback.
Some see horses as a mirror. Sure, a mirror that weighs over 1,000 pounds, but truly, they reflect your emotion back at you. But horses like Benny are unique. They help people with disabilities and children with cancer.
A lot of our participants who have a hard time reading social cues all of a sudden get it, and then they know they have to bring their energy down, and then as soon as they do, the horses will come down to that energy.
Some riders, like Lucy, came to the program with no experience, others with a passion, or some that are a little unsure of standing tall in the saddle.
We may start off with a horse leader who's totally in charge of that horse, and 2 sidewalkers in case they lose their balance or they just want to literally hold someone's hand while they're moving on their horse.
Once confident and able, riders can be fully independent from aid, learning how to fully communicate with their equine partner.
It's amazing. It's a miracle because many of us are afraid of horses. Many people are like, what? But it's an equalizer, and it's a joy.
A joy of riding. And in Montana, what a postcard this would make. Reporting in Bozeman, Jane McDonald, MTN News.
Every year, Josephine Crossing has their summer concert series, and this week they're hosting Eat, Share, Give, a nonprofit in Billings dedicated to keeping the community fed.
This is a grassroots nonprofit. It started out of COVID. It didn't start as a nonprofit. I didn't know we'd be starting a nonprofit. But through COVID, when we did Project Love Billings and served 21,842 sack lunches to kids at their doorsteps, once that need was kind of met, we knew we'd built something really important.
Moyer said that there's a huge need in the community for food, shelter, and resources. This is something that organization volunteers have noticed and personally experienced.
When I lost my job in November, kind of at the height of the pandemic, and wasn't really sure what I was going to do, Eat, Share, Give stepped up, no questions asked.
Eat, Share, Give provided Boyder's family of 2 with meals, which she said got her through difficult times.
So when I would come to the door and I would answer the door and get these meals, full meals, pasta, loaves of bread, a salad made with care by volunteers, I knew somebody actually cared about my son and I. And that was a pretty low point in our lives, and it really made a difference to us.
Eat, Share, Give hopes to provide more families with food and resources with the help from donations from Tuesday's concert at Josephine Crossing. Each donation will be matched up to $600 by Hannah Reno of Keller Williams Yellowstone Properties.
My long-term hope is for the community to come together, and all of these groups that support people in poverty collaborate to come up with a solution. It's just too difficult to each one individually try to meet the problem. This is going to take a collaborative effort, and I'm hoping that this is the beginning of that collaborative effort.
Reporting in Billings, I'm Shaquille Cozart with MTN News.
The potatoes being grown in this garden row here are just one of the many crops grown in the community garden in Conrad. And despite the heat we've had recently, the garden is actually doing quite well, which is important because this garden is a critical resource for the community.
These are plants that were donated.
Wednesday morning, Conrad community garden volunteer Pete McCune spent some time planting tomatoes. And volunteer Kathy Jones spent some time digging up potatoes.
I enjoy the gardening. I enjoy seeing things, and you'd be surprised how many mistakes, and every year is different. And I just enjoy it, is why I do it.
Yeah, Pete asked me to join in after his partner left. I always garden, but it's more fun doing it with other people.
The garden was started with a $750 grant and relies solely on volunteers and donations. The Ponderay County Conservation District has been in charge of the garden since 2017, and Administrator Brandy Fladstall says the community has really rallied around the garden.
The Conservation District reimbursed the volunteers for any seed that was purchased. Some of the local colonies have also helped with any excess seed that they had, any surplus. And also New Miami dropped off 50 tomato starts just yesterday.
Some of the produce goes to local senior living facilities or to other local seniors.
You have Pete and Kathy and a lot of the volunteers that know a lot of the elderly people and people in need within the community, and they take it upon themselves to deliver produce to those people.
The bulk of the produce, however, goes to the Ponderay Food Pantry.
We can provide canned fruits and vegetables, but whenever you can get fresh and give that out, that's always a welcome thing. We love getting donations, especially with the fresh fruit and that. We do have several folks that like to can.
Pete and Kathy say knowing they're helping the community makes them feel good.
We're going to pick peas, and they have to be shelled, and retired ladies at the nursing facilities are thrilled to.
Captain Genevieve Evans is a Montana native, but she left the shores of home to chart her own course, and a pretty impressive one at that.
Captain G, as she's called, and a title she has earned. She has been a USCG captain, an ASA instructor, and a professional sailor for the past decade, racing, teaching, and sailing in the Virgin Islands, Belize, and Montana.
2008, I really decided that I had an itch that just needed to be scratched, and I figured out that offering sailing for people in the Flathead Valley was something that I had to do. It out a little bit. We've got the wind behind us.
Owner of Go Sail Flathead Lake, Montana, Captain Genevieve is one of the few women who have received the captain title, and she wears it with a purpose, teaching people how to sail at her local business on Flathead Lake.
For me, it always has just been an opportunity to be self-reliant, challenge myself, and network with a lot of other people. And we offer sailing lessons for women, especially on the lake, because it's an opportunity for them to challenge themselves and take risks and be a part of a team.
I think that women get uplifted not only from each other, but from the challenges that we put each other up against.
There's two titles that Genevieve takes seriously, captain and business owner. Her company and crew continue to grow, now offering lessons, rentals, and charters with access to 10 different boats, sailing in 3 locations on Flathead Lake.
Yeah, women who take our lessons learn how to be good teachers. We're not only teaching them how to operate the boat and where to go and all that stuff. Now they're taking their families out and taking their crew and getting more people involved in it so that they get the confidence to take other people out.
Not only is she sharing her knowledge, but it's encouraging ladies to get out of their comfort zone.
If you ask Genevieve what's the one thing she hopes you learn beyond sailing, her answer is easy.
every time I went sailing with a woman or another group of women, I always just felt this intense bond that really led me to be a good captain and a good leader.
Reporting in Dayton, Montana, Alexa Belcastro, MTN Sports.
Montana's water safety program Kids Don't Float got big boost this month when it received a donation of more than 300 life jackets. The program has been around for more than 2 decades and was started when game wardens noticed the need.
A lot of our game wardens were looking for flotation devices when they checked somebody on the river, on the lake, stuff like that didn't have one, and they wanted to have an ability to give them one to keep them safe. So they started asking for donations and doing it, and it's grown from there.
The program provides free loaner life jackets at 60 locations across the state and has become an important safety program on Montana lakes and rivers.
A stream that looks really nice that you get into, and it's ungodly cold when you're at 90-degree weather. So that you got to be able to adapt to that. So that's a responsibility of parents and the department and everybody working together to make sure kids are informed and understand what some of the conditions are before they go into the water.
The Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services donated the life jackets. DPHHS Deputy Director Laura Smith says this was an important collaboration with FWP.
So we looked at our child fatality data from the last couple of years, and one of the things that rose to the top was the fatalities from drownings and preventable drownings at that.
Students from Rocky Mountain Preschool got to test out the life jackets at Spring Meadows State Park on Monday, along with additional tips on staying safe in the water.
It's very important to wear your life jackets. And important thing, we'll have swimming lessons. If you don't want swimming lessons, please ask for some.
Reporting in Helena with the help of my friend.
Reporting, Noah Robert Namfuck.
I'm weather forecaster Asia Ray, and now you're a little more weather-wise.
Inspiring story. Thanks for watching Positively Montana. We'll have more stories for you next weekend right here at the same time. Hope to see you then.